Tonight on Channel 5, can a local man build an iron farm that gets more than 5,000 ingots per hour? Yeah, I totally did. It's right there behind me. But can you do it in survival? Oh, sure. Let me show you how. What's kicking, my little chickens? This is Arystotle, and we are back with today's tutorial, and it is a mega iron farm that gets more than 5,000 ingots per hour. And yes, we're going to be building it in survival right here, right now. As you can see, I've got some prep done behind me, but let's jump over to my creative world and I will show you the finished product, and we will talk a little bit about the science behind it. Come on, let's go. All right, so as you can see, we've been working hard on a lot of different versions of this iron farm, but this is the final product, which we will be replicating today in our survival world with a block-by-block tutorial. This thing is basically 16 iron farms in one, and it is massive and it is tall, but you cannot beat the rates that we get out of it, and it works like a charm. We did 12 hours of testing, and we averaged more than 5,198 ingots per hour, easily making it one of the best and most efficient iron farms I've ever created. Now, I know what you're going to say. Why do we have to build it so tall? You can get away with building 4 rings and 4 of the first layers if you are scared of heights and get the exact same return. You're just going to have to do a lot more digging and a lot more water streams to get everything to go to one central point. Now let's jump back into the survival world and get started. All right, so I already picked out a nice little area for our farm today. You're going to need a 25 by 25 flat platform for your collection ring and killing chamber. After that, it can look like anything you want. I've done a few things here. We built a villager breeder, which we've been running for hours and hours and hours. I also built an elevator up to our first level of platform so that we can easily get everybody up to there. And over here, what we've got are lots and lots of zombies all piled in there. I've lit a few on fire by opening up the top. And of course, we had a nearby village that we could pull the villagers from. Okay, let's flash those ingredients up on the screen. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. I know it looks like a terrible amount of glass to use. There is a way where you can reduce the amount of glass you use, but you'll have to bring extra carpets and slabs. You might just want to build one level, which is perfectly acceptable, at which point just divide this by 4, and that will tell you how much you need. All right, well, the first thing we're going to do is build a 5, 3, 2, 1 circle. So we go 5, 3, 2, 1, and then we reverse it. 2, 3, and back to 5, and then back to 3, 2, 1, etc., all the way around. All right, using our 2 water buckets, we're going to start by creating an infinite water source right there, at which point we can just pull from that. And you're going to want to put water across the 5, and then across the 3, and then on both sides of the 1, just like that. And you can pull from the section before it if you need to. All right, if you place the water correctly, this is what you should see with a 3 by 3 square in the middle that is all dry. Now you want to place some half slabs on top all the way around, except for leave just a small section, just one section off, because as we're building, you're gonna fall, and landing in the water means you don't have to die, which is great, but you also don't want to make it so tall that you can't get out. Basically, you want a 3 tall tunnel that starts heading towards the center of the ring. Now, without needing to finish it, just needing to mark it, what you want to do is come over to the center, and you're going to want to dig down 5 blocks here. So you should be standing in something like this. Now, just point in the direction that your tunnel that you started was in, and clear out a 3 tall, 3 wide section. And just make certain to light it up. Now it's time for our scaffolding markers. And what these are blocks that are going to mark where we can pillar up or put our scaffolding so that we can get up to the right build sections and right heights without running into any of the blocks up above. So these are clear paths up. And how you mark these out is you're going to pick a section. So this is the south end of the build. So I'm going to say this is south, and the other end where my entrance is the north. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the right side of the south, and from the 3 section, not the 5, the 3, I'm going to leave a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 block gap. And then at the 8th, I'm going to put this in at the same level as the blocks that make up the bottom of the ring are in. And I've done the exact same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right up to the edge of the ring there. So 7 block gap. So from the south side here, what that means is when we go pillar up, if we pillar up right from this point, the zombie, we're going to be looking, our face will be right up next to the glass. So the glass for the zombie will be standing there. There'll be another set of glass, and then we'll have our villagers over here. So it'll go off this way, and it'll be the exact opposite on the other side. The glass will be here, the zombie there. And then what we'll do is, and then another glass, and then villagers going off this way. It's very important that you get the orientation of these guys right. So mark these off on this side, and then go to the north and do the exact same thing, where from the 3 section, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gap, and then the 8th is a block or a marker. And since I have those in place, here we go. Grab your scaffolding, or you can pillar up. I like to place just what I need inside here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up 20. And I have 20 in hand, so I just go till it stops. Okay, and with the right materials in hand, what we're just going to do is climb right on up to the top here. All right, so this tower is 20 blocks tall. Very important that it's 20 blocks. And so what you want to do is you're going to want to place a temporary block at the 19th. Now, if you're using scaffolding like I am, you just make certain to hit the edge there, and you can see the hitbox light up. And so just drop a temporary block right there. And now off of this block, you can just pop soul sand just like this. Hop back out of the way, grab your glass, and you want to put a temporary block on top of the soul sand, and then glass on all 4 sides of it, just like this. There we go. So that's what you should have. If you want to right now, it's safe to get rid of that first temp block that you used, but you want to leave this in as we go through. So we basically have soul sand at level 19, temp block at 20, and then glass on 4 sides. And it's at this point you grab your regular building blocks, and yes, these have to be full building blocks. And you're going to create a 3x3 platform just off the end of that glass, opposite from your scaffolding, just like this. Now grab a temp block again and start popping in your glass, and you need glass 3 high. So it's going to go just like this. So here's your walls. And again, we're going to use it to go over here so we don't waste anything. And then we can jump down and do this there. Okay, and then just finish up this last wall on the side here, right over here, by replacing the temp block and then using that to get going. So we now have 3 high glass walls on 3 sides. All right, now grab 3 beds and whoops, pop them right here. And then 2 torches on the back wall, just like this. And then your carpet goes right in front of the beds. This is a very important part. You do not want an iron golem spawning inside of this structure. It will just gum up the whole works. So let's start working the roof. Pop a temporary block right up on top, and then you place slabs just in the spots that you need them, right there. Bounce on the bed a little bit, and then close it off. So it's going to be a 3x3 little roof right there. Work your way back towards your scaffolding. Now in front of this one, place 3 blocks of glass, 3 blocks of temporary blocks, and then you're going to want to do glass on top of those, 3 of them across, completely covering up the front. Now on either side of this temp block here, you're going to want to bring the glass all the way up even with the front of the villager section of the pod. Now, this is the zombie section of the pod. And it's up here that you want to cover it up with a slab, just where the zombie's going to stand. And you can use an extra one just like that on top of the glass to go for there. drop back down, and then it's at this point, I usually like to leave this section open just because we're going to be loading up zombies. All right, so orientation is very important from this part. And so what you want to do is locate this tower of glass right here, the one that's kind of pointed towards the ring. Not the one that's pointed this way, but the one that's kind of pointed this way towards the ring. And so what you want to do is grab a temporary block and then place it right next to, and then place another glass block right here. Now go ahead and leave that. Actually, you can take that out now, in fact, if you want to. So you see how it's like diagonally connected to that block for the zombie. And this is the start of our spawning platform. So we have one here, and we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from that first block out to the end block, it's 8 blocks. Now counting this one as 1 again, we're going to go this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's very important that these blocks are glass. And then again with glass, you're going to want to come up and fill up like a back wall to this, just one high, just like this. Do the same on the other side, all the way out to the end. Now for this next section, you can use blocks or slabs, just make certain they're top slabs. And in the corner here, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. So it's actually, if you count from here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. But obviously you just count that block twice. And then from the inside, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course 1, 2, 3, just like this, and then connect up diagonally. So we have them diagonally going across, fill in these last 2 with glass, just like that. Even though it switches from glass to solid blocks, basically you should have a diagonal line straight across just like that, and there's 8 blocks for this side, and then there's 8 blocks from that side on out. And the reason for this one is quite simple. You just pop some water right there in the corner, and there we go. It should flow right to the edges without going over. Now this is our spawning platform. So we're going to have villagers in the bed section. We're going to have a zombie right here. And this is where those villagers are going to be spawning an iron golem. And as that iron golem goes towards the edge, as you can see, it's all lined up so that it drops right down into the ring. Now we had to push this out to the very edges though. So because the neighboring farms, if we put them even a block or 2 closer, what they'll do is they'll be able to detect these golems, and then it'll totally ruin your rates for the farm. So this is why placement of those marker blocks down below and everything is very, very important. All right, so I'm going to build the other 3 sections, and I'll stop and show you the important points as I'm going along. All right, and just to show you what the other side looks like, so that was our first that we built. Scaffolded up, and again the pods and the zombies go away from us just like this, just like they did on the other side. They go away towards the village, and then the spawning platform is going to be off of this block right here. So the first block of it is going to be right out here, just like that. And so you can see they're exact mirror images of each other, just all facing and pointing in towards the ring with the spawning platforms and with the pods for the zombie and villagers going away from the farm. I'm going to build 2 more and I'll get right back to you. Okay, with 4 little platform and pod sections done, this equals 1 layer. All we got to do is load it up. But first, before I show you how we do that, let's jump over to the creative world and I will show you a few options on these. Okay, so here's a better view of the platform and the finished look of it with a zombie going on the inside. Those 3 temporary blocks will take up that space, but we're going to take them out before they go. We're going to fill the bottom one in with water as well on top of that soul sand, etc. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all finished up. But we use glass and half slabs because none of these are spawnable. So we don't get any golems spawning on here. We use the carpet inside to prevent them from spawning on the inside. They definitely will not spawn where that zombie is. I can guarantee you that. We haven't had one of those yet. And they can actually only spawn on a very limited portion of this platform. Let me turn the water off and give you an idea. I don't know. It looks like a squid maybe, but that's all perfectly in range of these villagers to get them to spawn, and it's big enough so that we never fail to spawn. But at the same point in time, we don't want the zombie spawning up here. We don't want the zombie spawning anywhere but there, because even this little strip right down here on the side helps it up, because if you have 1 block higher, the zombie can get stuck or at least attach themselves to even a glass block. So that's why we keep it just like this. Now, if that's too much glass for you, here is a different version of a couple things you can do. So firstly, you don't have to do the walls out of glass. You can do them out of a regular building block. It just makes it really important that you have those torches on the inside just like this. And so you can save yourself quite a bit, but you're going to need extra slabs to cover the top, because any full block is a spawnable block. So you're going to have to cover it with carpet, or you're going to have to cover it with a slab. Same thing. These right here, because there's water running on them, they have to be glass. So you're going to have to use those, but you can change these backsplashes out for full blocks. Just make certain to cover them up with carpets or half slabs just like this. All right, so one of the things or tricks that I'm going to use is I have a soul sand elevator right here, which we're going to use to get villagers up to the top. And I also have a nice little spot where we can pick them up as well. So let me grab some rails and some mine carts and let's get to it. All right, so if it's daytime, move villagers. If it's nighttime, move zombies. And it is morning right now, so let's move some villagers. All right, first one off and away, and he should fly right on up. I know you can't see much, but there he goes, right out of the top. Let's get numbers 2 and 3. There we go. And they're off and running. Nice thing about the elevator, it also works for you as well. So you can just pop right on up to the top and definitely get ahead of these guys. Okay, so now that we're on an equal footing with these, it's really quite simple. You just have to open up a little spot here and grab a couple stacks of dirt and just start making your way around the section here, just like this, and curve it up. And since we're going to be loading 3 up over here, we'll just bring it right on up to that pod. And oftentimes I'll actually bring it up one just like this so that I can kind of come in and just launch right there. Use a combination of rails and powered rails and get yourself all lined up here just like this. Okay, and now that they're all in, we can go just one at a time. Get them started, and you can see them zip right on over. Make certain there's nothing that hurts them, and they can just launch right on in. And since we have that little bit of a drop down once we got on the inside, we should be able to launch a second one without them stacking or getting all crazy on each other. So just wrestle them onto the rails, and then send them off, and then just keep an eye on them as we go. For some reason, the third one always gives you the most trouble. All right, now that we have the third one off, you just got to run right on around over here, and you can push your way in on the inside and just start letting them out. Now you might have one kind of hang there for a second, but he's going to want to be with his buddies. So just grab that and whatever you can, have some temp blocks ready to block it up, whatever you need to, just to get everybody going on the inside. And I'm going to use some glass here, so let's do that. And that, and that, and there we go. 3 villagers, all inside, all ready to go. Back this up a little bit, and of course, you're going to be stripping a ton of dirt away from everything here. But you don't want to back it all the way up too far. Just bring it right on over here. All right, so we need to address the zombie villager. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to bring this up one just like this and just get it just like this here. There we go. Does that make sense? Take a different angle here and start heading to the other platforms, start working on more villagers. At the junctions, you can put a lever so that you can switch things around. I just like to do it a bit like that. And you just make certain your rails are lined up and we're ready for our next set of villagers. And there's 1, 2, 3. And then just chase them on up. Help them along here. The water's a little slow. And then send them on their new track, just like that. And just make certain they get there okay. And once the third one's on their way, just have a run on over and help them get acclimated. All right, that's 3 and 3, and they're all in their beds. Time for bed, which means it's time to start worrying for me about zombies. And then one of the other things I'm going to do here is bring the rails right on up to the water, right up to the edge of the water like that. Just like the breeder, the zombie pen, if you will, is crowded enough where I think I should be able to just grab one. So let's grab one. There he goes. And he's good to go. Now I have him set up to stop at a block because I know there are baby zombies in there. And obviously that's not going to work out so well for me. So he's an adult, so I don't have to stop and kill him there. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And now this might hurt a little bit. He's already name tag. I can see his name on there. Oh, wait, I just have to power that up. That's right. I left a powered rail under there so we can just, boom, power that up. And I just have to nudge him a little bit, and that should get him going. And there he goes. Now, zombies, you're going to want to do one at a time. You want to keep an eye on your health as well. Just because, well, they try to bite you. And I probably should have lit up this area, shouldn't I? There we go. So he'll kind of creep down through. There's no reason for me to push on him. And he hits that track, and he starts going right off the bat. Now he should be able to go right out over here. Now this is the point where you're probably going to end up losing some minecarts. So what you want to do, grab that and then start sealing that up so he's inside. Now this is a little bit, our pod is pretty much finished here. So what we want to do is get this all in order. So we're going to take out these extra blocks right here. I'm going to take out the one right there. And now this is kind of the tricky part. So what we want to do, and I suggest kind of leaving some of the blocks in here. Grab those glass right there. Punch out that block. Put a glass block back. And now you can punch out this guy right here, which should lower him down. And now this is the tricky part. You might want to turn your hitboxes on, but you should be able to break that just like that. And now make certain he can't escape. Grab your bucket of water. And you need to get it right in there. And boom, now he should start bouncing. Okay, and now that that's all done, one of the things we can do is start to get rid of some of our temporary blocks. Once I have one of the sections all kind of done up, I'm going to leave those temporary blocks so we're not waking them up and causing golems to spawn. And I'll have to come back and get that one in a little later when I come to take those out. But it's at this point that I usually clean up the rails a bit, get ourselves back on track for our next zombie, which is not going to be going all the way over and in with the villagers, but rather is going to be shooting on over here and right into that pod just like that. All right, so let's hope for another adult. And yes, we got an adult. So I can just break that block, throw a rail down, power the powered block that he's on, and just give him a little nudge, just like that. There we go. I'm going to give him a minute this time because I don't want to get bit. Okay, that should be enough. All right, we have all the tracks and everything properly in place. This guy is definitely name tagged as well. I call them all Bob because they bob up and down in the water. And as soon as he hits those rails, he should have some slight enough momentum to shoot off and into the sunset. Get yourself a good angle on the cart there somehow. There you go. And then it's a lot easier to just pop in some water, get him bobbing up and down. And it looks like we made it just in time for sunrise. All right, so that's 2 pods fully loaded. I'm going to get the other 2 done off camera, and I'll be right back, and we'll jump down into the collection system. All right, another Minecraft day and night, and we got 2 more zombies in and 3 more villagers in each pod, which completes this level. Now, I left the temporary blocks up there because we have no way to kill them, and the last thing I want is this area clogged up with iron golems right now. So let's head on down below here. And we're going to go to our back section and we're going to kind of check things out here. So now's the time to make this area pretty if you want to make it pretty. And I kind of want to make it pretty. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, so I just put some stone bricks in around the lava pit here, and then what we're gonna do, I did the ceiling a little bit right here. Remember, you only have 1 block up from this 3 high that you can build because right above that's water, so you need those blocks to stay there. So sometimes putting a reminder block or something pretty is good. So what we're gonna do is create a little doorway so we're a little safer in here, and we can pop a door in there. I left mine back in the chests up above, but that's okay. And we're going to kind of come over here and we're going to grab this 3x3 area, pull that right off the top. And now for the second one down, we're going to dig out 1 right there. Then we're going to go 3, 3, and 3. So here, let me back out of this so it looks at it. So 3x3 off of the top, and then 1, and then a 3x3, but going right on under. And then from this side here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. So what we did is we dug a channel that was too high and went 1, 2, took a right-hand turn, 3, 4, 5, back, just like that. Okay, so from the redstone box, we grabbed a dropper. And so what we're going to do in that 1 space right in between there, you're going to set your dropper down, hop up on top of it, grab a comparator, pop it on the back, grab 2 repeaters and pop 1 on the back, and then 1 pointed into either side of these blocks, and then grab your redstone dust and fill in around just like that. So that's what you should have. Dropper, comparator, repeater facing this way, repeater facing that way, and 6 pieces of redstone dust. Now once you've got that set up, grab your hoppers, and you're going to start off by pointing 1 directly into the dropper there, and then you're going to point all of the rest of them into that 1. So they all kind of just connect right on through, just like this. So that no matter where anything lands in this area, it's all going to be going into that one and be dropped into that dropper right there. All right, so what we have is a 1 deep, 5 wide little kind of cutout. And I left this section here open because we're going to connect it up with this channel down here. So let me just kind of whoop things right on over here. And then I'm going to dig down just so I can see that. Okay, perfect. So right in the bottom of that section there, you're going to pop a piece of soul sand. There we go. Piece of soul sand down here. Let's help it out on the channel. So we got a little 5 section here. What it's going to do is we want a piece of soul sand at the very end of it. We want a piece of ice right in front of that soul sand. And then we're going to grab our signs here and we're going to pop a sign right there. And then we're going to fill this in with a building block just like that. Now all we have to do is drop a little bit of water right here, and that will cause anything coming from the dropper to go right around the corner, slide over the ice and go on. And so now I'm going to have to grab some water here in just a second, and then we're going to fill a bubble elevator, which will bring everything up, over, and into droppers. Let me get that into place and grab some extra water right now. All right, so with extra water, what we want to do is just kind of fill this up and fill this up just right there. And we'll combine through and then bring it on up. And we're going to take it this high. So you want to basically just remember to pop some blocks in there as you go, just so bring it up so you're not spilling water all over your redstone or anything like that. If you need to feel the need to block anything off, you can. And so let's get this done. So let's do one more bucket of water right there, and 2 more should finish us off, and we've got them. So what we're going to do is go block, bucket of water, perfect. And this last bucket of water is going to go right up there, but obviously I want to shut it off as quick as possible. So one of the best ways to do that is come on over on this end, start putting our chests in. All right, so chests go like this, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a row of hoppers down the back here, but I need to get that last bucket of water in. So what I'm going to do is have this guy ready and this guy, and so we're going to do a jump hopper, just like that, right into the back of that chest. And let's make certain, yeah, it didn't kill any of our redstone, so we're doing good. So now anything that comes out of that dropper right there will get bubble elevated right on up to this guy. And we're going to complete this off by 2 more hoppers pointed into those chests. All right, so I'm going to grab the rest of my chests and I'm going to pop them right there. I'm going to grab a crafting table right here. And let's see, we're going to pop that right in the middle, and then maybe some chests right in the middle. This is where the output of our farm is going to come from, but what we're going to do is craft them up into iron blocks and then store them right here. So then just cover up this water stream just like that, and the redstone for the entire thing is 100% done. Grab your signs, and at face height, so 1 block gap, and then right here, what we're going to do is pop a sign, 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 just like that. Lastly, glass, glass, and glass, just like that. So 9 pieces of glass, and that'll keep the lava all contained. Climb back up to your ring, and being very careful, just kind of shift click right up to the top. What you want to do is you need to get to that center glass, or that center sign there, just like this, and then boom, pop your lava bucket, and it should spread out evenly and cover everything. All right, now we can put our door in here so that we can stay safe and sane. And now it's time to clean up this wall. Okay, so as you might know, we get a lot of flowers. So what I did is I did the same 1 deep, 3 tall, 5 back knockout, but then I took out these 4 blocks here. And what we're going to do is put a double chest on that side, and then we're going to put hopper and hopper pointing into that double chest. Now on top of these hoppers, grab a couple composters and pop them right on top. And then you want to do a hopper going into each one, and then do double chest right across the top. This will be fast enough to handle the hundreds and hundreds of stacks of flowers that you're also going to be getting. Now, just to finish off the area, what I'll do is I'll grab something like a crafting table there, and then I'll put, say, storage here, or, well, actually, let's make that look a little better than that. I'll grab those and maybe do something like that. Or, you can fit in some extra storage here just in case you need more for this, or you want to convert your bone meal that you're going to be getting out of this setup into bone blocks, and you can store them up here and not auto craft them, but you have an easy system for getting that all done. And that concludes the bottom. All right, so let's talk about how we should space the next layer. You'll notice I've got 4 stacks of 23 scaffolds or scaffolding blocks in my inventory. That's exactly what we need to add to the top of this tower to build it out. So you just come right to it and then just keep hitting it until you're maxed out. So let me show you why we do that. Okay, so the floor of this pod is at 20, and then we have 1, 2, 3 blocks tall, and then starting with that slab block, that's where we would add the next 20 blocks. So by grabbing 23, which we were up to here, we cover the 1, 2, 3, and then the extra 20 block gap that we need. So if you're going to be pillaring up, say from the top of these guys, count that slab as 1 and add a full block on top of that as 2, and keep on going till you hit 20, and that'll be the floor of your next villager pod. Okay, once you zoom up to the top, just shut off the water flow right there. This block right here is at 20, so this is 21, 22, 23, and then just keep going until you hit 43. All right, so once you get level with the scaffolding, you're going to build up each of these sides up by at least 3 here. You can go higher if you want, but 1, 2, 3. And now you want to build out 8. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now then you add a 9th, and now you can build a little platform that everybody can stand on and be safe. Now don't forget your guardrails down the side here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so it looks something like this. Grab your water, put it at 1 block higher than where your hole is. It will want to push you out, but just make certain it's not going to. All right, so what you're going to want to do is come on over to your base, break your break that 1 block with your soul sand right there, and then plant kelp all the way up to the top. But once you get to the bottom, you're going to break the kelp, and then you're going to pop in the soul sand again. So you make certain to break that bottom one, hop on out, grab your 1 piece of soul sand, pop it in the bottom, and that should be instant elevator all the way to level 40. And don't forget to check it out. It's too much fun. And all of your kelp should be waiting for you right there at the top. All right, once on top, just repeat everything exactly the same. You want to do your temporary block, your piece of soul sand, grab your glass and put it in another temporary block right on top, and go all the way around. And then it's all in the same direction. So just copy the level below and build your platform, and you're off and running. I'm going to finish up the next 3 layers, and you can join me for testing. All right, well, the farm is activated. We get to do the fun part of collecting all the scaffolding. All right, so the farm is active, and now this is a good point where you can stop and make certain everybody's got a free and clear path to free fall to the bottom. Every once in a while, they will come out so fast, they start knocking into each other. That will happen. You will lose a couple over the side. But when you're literally talking about 1,500 golems per hour coming down and going into that hole, losing 5 outside of the ring isn't really a big deal. Did take me a while. I'm not going to kid you. This isn't the same day I started recording this video, but it wasn't entirely ridiculous. I would say I have about 5 hours worth of work into the entire farm start to finish. So I am going to set a timer for 1 hour, and we're going to watch this thing go, and I'll just camp out right down here in this little room here. So yeah, let's do that. Holy cannoli. Okay, that timer went off, and let's check this out. And I'm going to take a quick screenshot here, and we got in the middle here, and of course remember it comes in on the top here. Okay, that's 86 stacks. That's 5,504 ingots. Now we had a little bit in there from when we first fired up the farm, so that's why we're a little more than 5,000. In testing we got around 5,200, so oh my goodness. Can I call it? Can I call it? Best iron farm ever. Okay, Nembomb has one that goes like 9,000 ingots, but it takes like 5 days to build. So I'm calling it best iron farm ever. Thanks for watching and for all your support. I really appreciate it.